let me speak it in Uganda. Kyennazuula nti tulemala magulu naye si mitima. Omutima bwe guba mubi guba mubi, ate bwe guba mulungi guba mulungi, oba oli mulema oba toli mulema.
You're live with Simon Chris Makanga, and I'm glad to be here in Jinja. I love speaking to women, and when I came here, I thought of who should I speak to understand fully how Jinja operates, and my spirit led me to speaking to at least to a woman with a disability, because I am a son of a mother. I feel for women, so I would love to speak to a mother who is also disabled, but most importantly, you have served, you have been a representative of so many women with disabilities. I'm curious to understand, how did you get into the wheelchair? Sorry, it's a sad question.
I got polio when I was 9 months old. My mother told me I had started, holding on objects and walking. Then she had a call that your daughter is very sick. When she took me to hospital, Jinja hospital, there it was, I had got polio. But then this polio was funny. I got paralyzed, the left side, both limbs and the legs. Both limbs, upper and lower limbs were all gone. But then she was working in grain milling. There was a white man who told her, no, you should take this child to hospital. Then she took me to Jinja hospital. As she took me to Jinja hospital, she found an Indian woman who told her, no, I have an Indian who can help you. So she was running here and there to see that I could walk. But then she said it took a long time. She went even to Mulago polio clinic. She used to follow the appointments. But then she sort of got discouraged at around 7-8 years. She thought I would not move because I was using my tummy, to move on. The whole limbs, I was very weak. But then all of a sudden she saw when the hands started working. She praised God for that. Then she found out, she used to follow what the physiotherapist used to do. As they stretch the legs, she would also stretch it after coming from hospital. Every day she would come from work, do the exercises, stretch the legs, the arms. After some time, she started seeing I was active. I started crawling. After crawling, I started getting up. I used to hold my leg as I would walk. And she saw me as an active child, running here and there, walking, playing with all kids. That's how I came up. I grew up. Then the white man advised her, why don't you take her to school? She looked at me and said, but which school? Then the white man said, no, I have friends in Uganda. It's called Chiguu Girls. She took me to Chiguu Girls. The sisters took care of me. I used to stay in the convent, but still they would let me go and play with others. But they were protecting me and helping me out. So I went on learning P5. I left Chiguu Girls when I was falling sick often. Then she brought me and took me to Warukuba East Primary School.
And how did you rise into the ranks of leadership? Did you ever think about you being a leader in a community?
No. In fact, when I joined the council, I was sort of green. I was working at Kagoma, down there, as you are going to Kamuli. So I had my mother saying, people, they are saying, you come, you'll be elected. So we met as disabled persons one time at the division. And they also didn't know. They said, we are selecting her. And a certain man called Waiswa Kabindula and said, we are selecting both of you to represent us. And that's how I began representing people in council. I didn't know what was being done there. I was so green, but I went on learning.
Is this something you had dreamt about?
No, never in life.
So what did you want to be?
I wanted to be a doctor. But then I was very poor in physics.
You grew up in an era where discrimination was at the highest.
Yes.
How was it like?
First of all, my brothers at home, they would say, you know, the neighbors, you know, they would associate me with witchcraft. In the area where I would be alone, for example, in Walukuba, where I grew up, I was almost alone. I'd go to school. Children would refuse to play with me. But you know, God created man. You would find still some kids who are kind, who would want to interact with me. Then I would play with those ones.
And how was it making you feel like?
I had a challenging life that I wanted to do whatever they were doing. If they were climbing trees, I would also climb a tree. If they were jumping over the other side, I would also want to try to see that I jump. If they are playing, they used to call it noble, I would also join and play the noble. So with the noble, I think I don't know how I would call myself, but I used to challenge a lot of people. We used to play villages like Block 11 and Block 4 are going to play noble boys and girls. So my friends, I have a friend called Dorothy. She's now in Pakwachi. She used to love me so much. Where I would fail to walk, she would put her back. Where I would go to steal mangoes, she would use me. Margaret Gune, you know, I used to be very swift. I would climb the tree, get mangoes to throw. So when the owners of the mangoes would come quarreling, you know, for them, they would run away. So one time I was at Klembe, the man was furious. I don't know what I would do to this man. I got confused. I said, I don't know how I'm going to get off this tree. The only thing I did was to urinate on his head.
What?
He ran away. As he entered into his house, I said, I got off the tree quickly. Dorothy put her back, started running with me. As she reached a certain distance, the man said, Ebambi, omwana mulema. We reached somewhere with Dorothy. We started laughing because we had got our mangoes. And I had done a trick because we were three of us on the tree. And we didn't know how we would come down. This man was furious with the stick. He wanted to hit us. But then my man said, no. And when he ran away, these people got off the tree, they ran away. But Dorothy was so kind to me. She brought her back and fixed it. As we were passing out of the gate, the man said, no, kubakana kalema. It amused me. In fact, whenever I pass that area, you look at the tree and then start laughing.
But it looks like being a disabled person, it didn't put you down in any way.
No. My mother used to make me active. The only thing she didn't want me to do was to cook, wash. And she would bathe me even when I was in P7. But then this friend of mine, Dorothy, you know, the few that you have around, Dorothy would take me to her home. This is how they wash plates, you know. You wash like this. You do like this. You wash your clothes like this. You come and we mop. Then I'll say, if my dress would get wet, my mother is going to beat me. And no, you remove your dress and remain in the knicker so that we mop the house. So I learned to mop. I learned to cook. I learned to wash dishes. You know, I was doing almost everything, but it was the neighbors. So by the time my mother grew up, she wanted to go away, to go to Entebbe and get another job. She was saying, now who's going to take care of Margaret? She went around looking for people who would take care of me. But then, as she left me with a certain woman, that woman is now, and she used to be an LC2. My mother left me with such as Chala Sechirime. I was very active. I could wash dishes, I could mop the house, to wash my clothes. And the only problem was hanging, but still I would struggle in my own way and hang clothes. I think disability is all about practicing something and doing it. Because if you are seated in one place, you are not doing anything, you'll never be active.
I want you to speak to discrimination. It's one of a disease that is making so many people with disabilities to feel like they're limited. They have no ability to do something that another able person can do.
Okay, people discriminate us. One, by calling us, first of all, the name. Once you call me Mulema, it's good. When you call me Mulema Gwe, I would come to you and say, Nze Margaret, ate Gwani. Then I would do, Fukeba Mkwano Margaret, Gwani. I want to know your name. Many people in the tax park, they say, that one is she's like a mad person. I'm not mad, but I want to remove that one because Mulema is not my name. What if you don't have your teeth? Is it good for me to call you because you name you because you have a missing tooth? No. I don't think you would feel comfortable about it. It's better to call you your name, because if you call me Mulema, you are discriminating me. Then another thing is, this, for example, like housework at home, help a child to participate. Like I've been helping many mothers with children with special needs. I say if your child is disabled, there is one called Babidia. She used to roll like a ball. But then I went to the mother and I said, you have to make this girl active. And she was telling me how. Then I would ask the mother, but did you feel happy when she rolls like a ball? He says, no, but I have nothing to do. I said, now you have something to do because you are the mother. Make her active in the community. Then she told me how. I said, they used to give her food from behind. Then she would pick and eat. I said, no, you put it in front so that she picks. She learns to practice from the front side and take her for physio. She would take the child for physio. Now Babidia is sitting. Babidia can dress up. Babidia can participate in washing dishes. That's how you do it.
I think your curiosity for equality has somehow driven you or taken you to places. No wonder you're into positions of leadership at the division level. Do you feel like the women, especially here in Jinja, are fully represented?
No.
In terms of equality? Let's talk about education. Let's talk about health, leadership, politics.
I don't think we are fully represented. One, for example, I'll talk about disabled persons. There is an issue of saying whether you went to school or not, you can become a counselor. That is fine. But you find still this person who has never gone to school getting stranded somewhere, somehow. With the reading, there is an issue, they say, oath of secrecy. You shouldn't release any information until it has been passed in the full council. Now this person who has never gone to school still has to go and consult somebody to read for her. Whether you are given right information or wrong information, somebody has already given you the information, which you should have kept for yourself. So if we look at the education-wise, and then what other issues? Look at membership in parliament. only one woman in a full district. Why not 3? Why not 4? For example, if Walukuba would have, maybe we talk of, Jinja is divided into rural and city, urban area. Why not maybe 2? But why one person in the villages and this side? So there is no equal representation. It's not there.
Margaret, let me get back into your life. I'm sure you're a mother. How many children?
I have 2.
2 children?
Yes. A boy and a girl.
And a husband?
Yes, I have a husband.
I've been speaking to most of the women. They say they get husbands, get children, and then they disappear.
They do. Yes, they do. Even me too happened. I thought when I get... In fact, me, I got a man when I was 27 years. My mother used to tell me, be careful. So I was as careful as she used to tell me. But it reached a point when I needed a friend. I wanted somebody to talk to. I wanted that intimacy. I want that closeness. But then I got a man, a disabled one. But the way he treated me also, I said, wow. I thought if this man is a disabled, I think we would match.
He would understand you.
We would understand me. But he never understood me. I left.
Did you get children with him?
Yes, only one. I said, I can't go on with such life. You know, let me speak it in Uganda. Chenazula. Nti tulemala magulu naye si mitima. Omutima bwe guba mubi, guba mubi. Ate bwe guba mulungi oba oli mulema oba toli mulema. You know? Now people look at this physical disability here, yet the inner man is quite different. It's the inner man that makes relationship to continue or to break down. You know, I had my co-wife even who asked him, why do you look for a disabled person? Then I was in the house, I said, but the man is disabled. And this woman is asking, why does he look for a disabled person? In fact, I never got annoyed. I just laughed. I said, these things are funny. But that is how he was. He left me, went for another one. He left me, went for another one. He left me. I think we were several. So I said, this one's character is like that. Then at the age of 37, I felt life. I said, I think I should get another one. You know, I didn't want to behave like other disabled person. Every child a daddy, every child a daddy. I said, when I reached 37, I said, maybe, but my son has no sisters, no brother. How does it come? I can't go back to the other one because HIV/AIDS was at that time was too much. I said, let me get another one. I got another one, but again he became a dependent. Being very active, because I'm active, I can go, I can do sewing. Now I'm in bidding. I have some bigger project. You know, trying to find that I live life on sustainability. But then, for him, he was like that. He didn't want to work.
Was he also disabled? Is he also disabled?
No, a very able-bodied person. An electrician. He also went in for other women and so on. However much you take, I said, now, what am I going to end up? I think I should have 2. My family planning says 2. I ended up with 2. Now I have grandchildren. I have 4 of them.
Margaret, I don't know how old you are.
I'm old. I'm 59.
You're 59.
November 26th. November 26th, this month, I'm making 59.
What's your view about life? What would you say about life?
Like what?
The life you have lived vis-a-vis people's life. To you, what is life?
To me, what is life? Okay. Should I say sustainability, good health, your relationship with God and your relationship with man. Not man as in particular, but with the community, those surrounding you. To me, that's what I say life. But if I go back to Christian life, I think I should be closer to God than anything else. Because he's my best friend. He goes where I cannot go. He protects me where I don't have a gun, where I don't have what, but he's there for me. That is.
Do you at one point regret that maybe ask God, why am I like this?
When I was still a child, I used to. Because I would see people jumping, especially dancing, You see somebody dancing, the music has gone into somebody. But then eventually he said, I can dance on my wheelchair the way I want. Whether I push myself forward or backwards, I'm dancing. Whether I use my head only, I'm dancing. I appreciated it that way.
What comes into your mind when you look at your children?
Creation. I see God's plan.
Do you feel like you could have given them more if you were able?
Yes. My child never did senior 6 because I got stranded with the school fees. Had I had money, my child would have gone even up to the university level. Yes. My son ended up being he didn't also finish senior 6 somehow, but to him, I think it was misguidance. Should I say peer pressure? He copped up those behaviors of the community outside there. But then I think he has turned to be a good boy. Mommy, how are you? Mommy, I don't put pressure on him. I appreciate that. But I'm only asking God to trim him, to make him into a man that would be a responsible citizen, that would be responsible to his family, to his children, and the community at large.
Wow. Thank you so much for speaking to me.
You're welcome.
What message would you tell? This is my last question. Your message would you tell to other women out there who are disabled?
Women who are disabled, if they are studying, let them strive and study, because this is a world of competition. And if they are learning something, for example, crafts, or they are doing tailoring, let them also learn to compete. Another thing, let them not excuse themselves. For example, ndimulema sisobola kufumba, does not give a meaning. Whether you want or not, you have to cook. Rushing to getting men friend, I think they should withhold that one for a time until they get the rightful pattern. Because God brings the rightful one at the right time. That's what I know. God cannot let them go without. Because we also need children. We need them to get married. Because the children help us. And the children really represent us, Where you don't have a child, your sister's child is not your child. But when you have your own child, for example, my firstborn, the boy, when you are walking together with him, his work is to keep on, walking, pulling his legs on the ground so that, Mommy, there is a hole here. Be careful, you are going to step in the pit. You are going to fall. So he knows my weaknesses, that I don't walk on rough places. My boy knows that once I've gone for a short call in a bucket or what, he knows he has to pour it out. So it's important for us to have children. But then we have children with the right men. Then we have children with the people who love us. Then another issue is, that goes to the parents of children with the special needs. Let them stop protecting so much their children. they overprotect such that even when the child is learning bad manners, you take it for granted because my child is disabled. Yet we are supposed to be also good citizens in this world. And God does not judge this disability, but God judges the inner man, that is the heart. Because if your child is disabled and you keep on leaving him to fight with others because he's disabled, that is bad. He's learning to be evil inwardly. But then if you try to help this child to know that humanity is equal, we need to love one another, this child will grow up when loving others.
Well, that is Margaret here in Jinja. And I like her story where she says that it's a true definition of disability is not inability. From her childhood, she has risen in 2 different ranks up to leadership. Now she's into business and she has had her 2 children. This is a good example to emulate to everybody out there with a disability. You can still make it in life. Like she said, the body might be disabled, but the heart isn't. So keep that heart alive. Keep the heart burning. That what other people can do, you can also do it. Live with Simon Chris comes to an end right about now. But remember to like, share, and comment. For now, it's a bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. You're welcome.
May God bless you.
God bless you too.